Hello viewers and welcome to another episode of Agric Connect. Siyalamukela balaleli bethu. Weyinye isiqethu se-Agric Connect. Tinokugamchirai vatereri vedu kune chimwe chikamu che-Agric Connect. As you can see today, I'm in a cabbage field. Nasi ndiri mumunda wema cabbage. Namhla sisensimu yama cabbage. As you can see in this cabbage field, this farmer decided to go for a cabbage crop in summer. This means that cabbage has become an all year round, while it used to be well renowned for being a cool season crop. Njengokubona kwenu balimi, sisensimu yama cabbage. Umlimi wethu wafake ama cabbage lawa uwafake ngesikhathi sokuchisa. Lokhu kusho ukuthi icabbage usungayifaka ngesikhathi sokuchisa uma ungadinga i-variety ehambelanayo ngesikhathi sokuchisa. Sekuona kwenyu varimi, mumunda wedu wema cabbage uyu. Murimi wedu akaisa makabeji munguva yekupisa. Zvichireva izvo kuti kana ukatsvaga variety yakanaka inoenderana nenguva yekupisa, unowana goho rako rakanaka remakabeji, wopinda mumarket nenguva yakanaka neprice yakanaka. Cabbage farming has become a well-renowned enterprise within the summer season and within the cold season. This means it's an all-year-round crop. If you become a cabbage farmer, that means you can hit the market when the prices are good and when the prices are even when the prices have a glut within the market. Our farmer here decided to have cabbage crop throughout the entire year with a hectarage of over 5 hectares of cabbage crop within his field. He's consistently supplying the Mbare market, he's consistently supplying different markets and making sure that this crop is within the market at all times. As I'm also seeing within this field, this cabbage crop has an even head size, it's got uniformity, and it's a very healthy crop as well. Cabbage farming within the Matabeleland region has found itself hitting a serious glut because of the disease of brassica stunting disorder. Within this side of the nation, we seem not to have the disease as yet, which means the cabbage market is being sustained by farmers within the Mashonaland side, within the Harare side of the enterprise. Siyawazi ukuthi ikhabichi liyahlupa ukutholakala ngesikhathi sokuchisa. Kodwa njengoba sesilama seed houses asilethela inhlanyelo eyaneleyo ukufaka ngesikhathi sokuchisa, eyaneleyo ukufaka ngesikhathi somqando. Sesiba le cabbage isitholakala emarket ngesikhathi sonke. Tiri kuti nasuno cabbage yaimbozikanwa ichirimwa munguva yechando chete, sezvo iri crop inorimwa nenguva yechando. Ndo pamaiona market yedu ine price inenge yakadzikira nekuti munhu wese anenge aisa cabbage munguva iyoyo yechando. Asi izvezvi tave nemafarmers ave kuisa cabbage iri munguva yekupisa, zvichiwanikwa kuti market yedu yakugara ine cabbage, price yedu ichiuyawo yakanaka mumarket yedu yecabbage. Cabbage crop has a few requirements that make it a good crop that you can put in and get your money's worth back at the end of the day. For example, knowing the type of variety to put in and which time to put it in, also knowing the fertilizer requirements, and also knowing what is within your soil before you plant your crop is very important. Having a uniform head cabbage and having a good sized head cabbage also allows you to hit the market with an advantage over other farmers. At this point in time, as we can see, the cabbage crop is not always going to be uniform. We've got physiological effects that will affect your crop. We also have weather elements that will come in and affect your crop. But knowing that you can get a 70% to 80% return from the crop that you will have put in will allow you to get your money's returns from a cabbage crop. Within this field, we can see that the farmer has a few weeds. He's got quite a vast cabbage crop within the land, but he's managed to keep the crop clean and he's managed to spray and evade weeds for as long as he can. The cabbage has reached its harvest period and currently the farmer is actually harvesting this crop and taking it to the market. This crop he is selling at between 75 cents to $1 depending on its head size. This means that farmer, even if you've got medium-sized head cabbages to big-sized head cabbages, you can still get a good price as long as you target the right markets. So you need to have your market set before you actually put your crop in. Balimi, esikuchoyi ukuthi nxa sufakile ikhabichi lakho, ngoba labantu ozabathengisela khona ikhabichi yakho. Ivane vanhu vauchatengesera cabbage rako risati rasvika usati wadyara. Market ngaivepo musati matanga kudyara cabbage renyu kuitira kuti parinosvika risazosvika pakuputika. Ikhabichi lenyu lingafiki kustage eyekuthi lizaqalisa ukuvuleka selisiba lamanzi amaningi kakhulu, even lapha esithola ukuthi izulu selisina, ikhabichi lakho seliqalisa ukuvuleka lisensimu. Ngoba le market yakho, ivane market yakho usathi wathanga kuisa cabbage rakho. Now farmers, just as I have said, today we're in a cabbage field. We are about to be joined by our farm manager who has had this cabbage crop reach its maturity to as you see it now. Join us in our next segment as we are joined by our farm manager, Mr. Elias Billy Chida, who is going to give us more insight on how he has managed to maintain this crop. He's also going to give us more insight on the market chain right now and how the cabbage crop is doing within the market. Wow, Mr. Billy, cabbage rakakura iri. Muri kufara naro ere cabbage iri?
Ndiri kufara naro singaiti imborinzwa imunzwi. Uremu warinawo. Rine
uremu wakanaka stereki. Ndiri kuona rakakura, rine musoro wakanyatsokura wakanaka, rine utano cabbage iri riri kufadza zvekuti. Aya ndo atinoti macabbage manyama aya. Hello viewers and welcome to our second segment of Agric Connect today on cabbage production. Siyalamukela kusihlelo sethu esesibili uAgric Connect namhla sikhuluma ngeproduction yama cabbage. Today we are welcomed by Mr. Elias Billy yet once again to discuss production on cabbage. Mr. Billy, makadini yenyu?
Ndakasimba zvangu makadiko sister Aneti.
Tinotenda mauya futi pane chikamu chedu chechipiri cheprogram yedu yeAgric Connect muchiya kuzotaura nesu nezve cabbage production. Last time we were together on your tomato production and you showed us your field of tomatoes, and now we are joined by you seeing yet again a beautiful production of cabbage. Mungatiudzawo kuti makasvika sei pane cabbage ratiri kuona nasiri?
Ndikitanga kudyara cabbage ndinodyara ni cup number 20. Number 20 cup iyo cereal brand or bulk brand. This is zinongoita.
Okay. Saka cereal brand ndo yamakambotaura futi kumadomasi zvichireva kuti kudomasi inoita ku cabbage inoita ndiyo here inoshandiswa se basal fertilizer kana kuti titi se fertilizer yekutanga kana uchidyara ma horticultural crops akawanda.
Right. Kana uchidyara ma greens edu aya kukasika kubooster chinhu iwayo ndo ma fertilizer anokasika kubooster asiyana ni 7-14-7 yechibagi inononoka
ndo yatinoti compound D kai.
Compound D inoshanda zvayo but inononoka kureacta kuma crops. Inenge ine quick reaction kuma crops edu. Sure. Ndo yandinodyara nayo. Ndadyara ni number 20 cup. Ndingangotsanangura ndichiti 80% ye cabbage imvura. Okay. Starch it's only about 20%. Okay. Yeah. Saka mvura ndo yakakosha mu cabbage. Then ndinoya ne first topping yangu inini. First topping inodependa ni type of soil raunaro. Type edhaka rako ni feeding iri muvhu. Zvamunogara muchitaura kuti chikafu chiri muvhu ndo chinopa crop health yakanaka. Right. Ndo chinotuudza kuti ndoya ni 10 cup iri kana kuti ndoya ni 15 cup. Yeah. Right. Ndapinda ni 10 cup kana kuti 15 cup first topping. Ndodiridza cabbage rangu inini for another 3 weeks to a month. Rinokupa futi result yakanaka. Then chandokurudzira kuma farmers ndechekuti isai from 25 to 30 meals every 2 days. Uchidzokora kudidza kwako because cabbage rinoda mvura yakawanda. And ku cabbage isusu tinoshandisa overhead. Okay. Overhead it's a best watering for cabbage. Yeah. Ukashandisa drip cabbage rako rinowane kuchenuka kana kurumwa netupukanana. But ukashandisa overhead anowa iyo ma sprinklers cabbage rako unogona kuita less sprays because cabbage rinogezwa nhata ne overhead.
Pama sprays enyu munospraya sei zvinova zvinoita kuti nhata dzenyu dzisawanikwe dzakawanda mumunda menyu mema cabbage?
Every week tinofana kuya nemishonga watinotospraya chinhu kuti chisajaire mishonga unofana kungochinja different types of chemicals dzekushandisa munda. Ndosaka mukuona arina kana pakarumwa cabbage.
aiwa tiri kuona zveshuwa mashizha acho haana pakarumwa pakawanda. Tichidzokera kumashure ndakungudzoserai kumashure panhau yemafertilizer. Vamwe vanotaura vachiti zvichienderana nekuti cabbage rako rine maturity yakamira sei. Semamwe makabbage atinoziva anenge akura ane musoro wakati nakei within 65 to 75 days. Mamwe anozoti pamusoro wakati kurei uya anenge ari ema 100 days or so or 90 to 100 days. Zvinonzi fertilizer pane paunofanira kumira kuiisa kuti udzivirire kuputika kwecabbage mumunda wako. Mungatiudzawo here nezvenhau yekuisa mafertilizer nekuti pane panomira kuiswa ammonium nitrate based fertilizer yenyu?
Ichokwadi. Pauno apply first application yetop yandataura 10 or 15 cup, okay? Parinoda kunotanga kuratidza mashizha kuda kunosunga ndipo panofanira kuitwa last topping, so that tinogona kudzoka ne15 zvakare kana kuti 20 cup. Changosara kana waapply 15 to 20 cup second application top dressing waakungoshanda nemvura. The best thing is watering nemshonga. Arichada kana fertilizer bozi. Fertilizer inodiwa kana cabbage ratongotanga kusunga bozi ndio pari kutanga kuvaka, ndio pari kuda chikafu. Zvinenge zvisina need yekuzoda kufeeda cabbage kana ratoumba mwana kunenge kwatova kuwaste.
Kunenge kwatova kuwaste. Aiwa varimi muri kuzvinzira mega. Cabbage is a low maintenance crop. So if you are a farmer and you are willing to get into the horticultural industry and you are willing to start off, I think cabbage is a good enterprise to get into for a start. Munozvoonawo sei Mr. Billy kuti vane shungu dzekuitawo horticulture vari kuda kupindawo muhorticultural industry vakatanga necabbage zvingavaitira zvakanaka?
Ichokwadi. Ndinoti iri cabbage aridi capital yakawanda, because cabbage rakangofanana nemagarden edu atinoita kumisha uko. Mashandiro atinongoita mugarden ndio makuru anongoita cabbage. Cabbage nemiriwo yatinongodyara mumagarden medu kumisha uko zvakangofanana. As you can see this size of cabbage. Cabbage iri ndofunga ndambotaura nyaya yeoverhead kuti is the best ku cabbage. Why? Because cabbage kana rane mashizha akadai handitika arichakwanisa kuisa mvura nekumaroots, arichakwanisa kunwa mvura yakawanda
saka riri
kunwa nekumusoro,
okay,
richidzikisa kuroots.
Alright.
Saka cabbage redu rinoramba rakakeepa fresh, zvokuti kana kutoenda kumarket cabbage iri rinogona kuita 4 to 5 days risina kana kutombosva richiri fresh because rainwa mvura nekumusoro, as compared nere drip irrigation. Because ndinoona vamwe waishandisa drip rinochenuka ende rinenge sina mvura yakanaka. Plus pakutesta kune vanoita zvemasalads nevanoda kutesta muriwo
rinenge ritori netest
red drip nere overhead sprinkler cabbage zvakatosiyana
test. Okay. Saka payield yenyu yakamira sei? Pamaheads enyu muri kuharvesta range yakamira sei? Average head size yemacabbage enyu yakamira sei?
Spacing yandiri kuita inini ndiri kuita 35 by 50 centimeters, which is inokwanisa kundipa uniform size. Munda mangu handichatarisira large cabbage, handichatarisira small cabbage. Ndokwanisa kuwana medium size.
Riri pakati
nepakati. So that pakutengesa kwatinoita auchaisa aya maprice 4-5 mumunda. Parinotemwa rongotemwa zviri uniform. Chinosara mumunda maguni chete because cabbage inenge rakakura zvakaenderana. Sure.
That's some very informative insight there, Mr. Billy. Sekunzwa kwataita na Mr. Billy, spacing yenyu nayo inodetermine kuti cabbage renyu rinenge rakakura zvakanyanya sei. This goes back to scouting for a market and knowing what your market wants before you actually put your crop in the ground. Mr. Billy here knows his market requires medium-sized cabbages. Vari kuziva zviri kudiwa nemarket yavo. Mr. Billy lapha siyambona ukuthi usele insight, usekwazi ukuthi imarket yakhe ifunani. Noba libona lapha usefaka amacabbage akhe ngespacing e35 cm to 50 cm. Eyiyo emnika medium sized cabbage. Icabbage elingaphakathi laphakathi elifunakalayo emarket. Saka imimi pa cabbage muri kurisa goreresere all year round. Are you putting in a cabbage crop?
Ichokwadi sister Anette. Inini ndinodyara every 2 weeks ndinodyara 80,000 plants.
Okay.
Every 2 weeks.
Okay.
So that zvinokwanisa kundibatsira kuti imwe crop kana yapotsana nemari yakanaka, imwe yacho inosangana nemari yakanaka.
There you have it, farmers. He's in the market all year round. He faces the glut of the market, and he also faces the time where the market price is very good for the cabbages. I understand right now he's fetching a good price of between 75 cents to $1 for each head. Now you can imagine how much of his returns are coming back to him right now. Thank you so much for joining us on this segment of Agric Connect. Siyalithakazelela ukuthi libe lathi namhla balimi sikhuluma ngendaba yamakhabichi. Tinokutenda evarimi nasi nokuva nesu pa episode inoyi yekutaura nezve cabbage production. Hello viewers, and welcome to our last segment on cabbage production here on Agric Connect. Salibonani babukeli, siyalamukela usiqethu sethu esokugcina lapha ku Agric Connect sikhuluma nge cabbage production. Nasi tina Lucy Zarea achatudza iyesa expert nezvekurima amacabbage munguva ino yatave kupinda winter. Lucy, tinokugamuchira pano pa Agric Connect. Thank you for joining us.
How are you so much, Annette? I'm doing well.
That's good to hear. So Lucy, we know cabbage is a crop inonyanya kuiswa mu winter, but we see that over the years that has changed with farmers actually putting cabbage in all year round. What does this mean? Does this mean our varieties have become more climate smart? Does it mean kuti ma varieties atave kuona mu market anokwanisa kuiswa all year round, gore richipera richitanga muchingoisa cabbage production uri cabbage farmer?
Of lately we have witnessed that farmers are growing cabbages in both winter and summer, and they are doing it well. We have noticed that the winter production is actually a bit more better because of the pest and disease occurrence. Musama anorimwa zvakanaka asi panozonetsawo kuti zvipuka zvakaita sana diamondback moth zvinogona kunetsa varimi vakawanda, but yes, cabbage is an all year round crop.
Okay, that's good to hear. So what are the key attributes, Lucy, that make this crop viable as an all year round crop? Seeing as it's quite vigorous in winter, what makes it, or what are the key things that make the varieties that are on the market vigorous as well during the summer period?
Okay, so we can say that cabbage, basically the varieties basically perform well in winter and summer, but chinosiana are the tingati zvinenge zvichirwisa. Like you notice that in summer kunogona kunaya, kana kukanaya cabbage ariwirirane nemvura dzimwe nguva, because the cabbage head will work as a cup and hold water in tosangana nemarots. Even ma varieties atinawo achikwanisa kurwisana nemarots akaita sana black rot, asi kana azonyanyirwa nemvura zvinogona kuzokurira. So you find kuti vanorimawo cabbage munguva yechando havasangani nemvura, kana vari kudiridza nedrip irrigation cabbage ravo rinogona kutosvika pakuita risina kurwiswa. Totarisanawo nezvirwere mazuva ano, as I've mentioned before, DBM, diamondback moth, has been prevalent a lot, and some farmers have lost up to 80-100% of their cabbages, and in winter we can see that that is a bit lower. So ndozviri kubatsira varimi, but yes, we do like the competitiveness that is there in terms of varieties and choices available on the market at the moment.
Thank you for that, Lucy. So on cabbage production, we understand kuti you require a large number of heads for you to be profitable in this particular market segment. Varimi vangatarisira kuisa cabbage rakawanda say on a hectare or on a hectarage for them to actually realize good profits. We see changes, fluctuations in market price of cabbage a lot in the market, and obviously farmers who want to get into this enterprise want to know how best to approach the production so that they get as much value out of it as possible. How can a farmer get into this production while navigating the gluts in the market of cabbage production?
Okay, so personally, as an agronomist, I recommend around 22,000 to 27,000 cabbages per hectare, depending on the variety. If you have big head varieties, you can go to 22,000, but if you have varieties that don't produce bigger heads, you can go up to 27,000. But however, depending nekuti murimi ari kunanga market ipi, but kana murimi ada kupinda in our common markets, I recommend them to put these 27,000 or 22,000 cabbages in batches. You can put them in batches of 5,000 and space them with a difference of 2 to 3 weeks. Zvinobatsirawo murimi kuti asange angotarisana nemacabbage panguva iyoyo market inenge isina kuita zvakanaka. Asi tikamaita muzvikamu zvakasiyana zvinotipawo mukana wekuti chimwe chikamu chinogona kunosangana nemarket ichiita zvakanaka.
Okay, that's definitely very insightful. I think zvinopawo varimi vedu a bit of a hope kuti sangani neprice yakadzikira market nguva dzose. Currently, what would you say are the market trends for cabbages at the moment, seeing as we are getting into winter and macrops ati dzikire anokwanisa kuiswa muchikamu chino ichi chekutonhora? Tiri kunzwisisa kuti vakawanda vachange vachipinda mumarket necabbage. Tinotarisira kuti maprices anenge akamira sei mumarket yedu in the next 2 to 3 months vanhu vave kuharvesta cabbage ravo?
So cabbage shocked a lot of farmers and those interested in farming in the past years. It has maintained a consistent price, I would say, for the past 2 years. Tinoona kuti varimi vanga vachitengesa cabbage nemutengo wakanaka pamarket. Even as we speak right now, cabbage rine mutengo wakanaka. However, from what I'm seeing, a lot of farmers have gotten into winter cabbage production this year. So we might notice that the price might be bad towards the end of this season. For now, it's okay, but I believe there might be a bit of a glut there. But it's not the end of the world for farmers. And if they do the batches that we have mentioned, there are chances that they can get a better price.
A better price. So you mentioned head size and uniformity at some point in terms of cabbage production. What would you say is acceptable out there in terms of head size to the markets that we have at the moment? Is it your small heads, your medium-sized heads, or I am a cabbage types varieties that tinoona achitora maybe 120 days for them to actually reach full maturity?
What I've noticed is a lot of farmers are now into the medium maturity varieties that take fewer days to maturity, because they don't want to spend a lot of time nemacabbage mumunda. Vanoda kuti akurumbidza kuenda kumarket vachisa the next batch. So unoona kuti mavarieties ema 75 to 80 days they have been moving more.
Quite well. So seeing as winter production is limited to these few lines, outside of macabbages, pane zvimwe here zvinokwanisa kuiswa nevarimi vedu munguva inoi zvingava in the same family as macabbages edu, kuitira kuti varimi vedu vazive kuti zvekabheji zvikaramba vanokwanisa kuvawo something to look into next season in terms of winter production for their crop.
Oh, definitely, yes. In winter, we can grow all leafy vegetables, including your rep, your covo. You can also grow cauliflower. You can grow broccoli. So farmers can look into the niche of growing these crops that are in the same family with cabbage, and they have a better chance on the market.
Wow, thank you very much, Lucy. I think in terms of cabbage production and seeing the trends that we have in the market now, our farmers are definitely going to have good insights going into the season coming from you as an expert. So thank you very much for what you've shared today in terms of cabbage production. Ndinofunga varimi vedu vane zvakati one day zvavachapindawo muchikamu chino ichi vachiziva in terms of cabbage production. Thank you very much for joining us today, Lucy.
Always a pleasure.
All right. That was Lucy Jarea again on cabbage production. We're very grateful to have her expertise as a horticultural expert on Agric Connect. She's shared many tidbits on our different segments, and we're very happy that our farmers are getting this knowledge from an expert herself. So cabbage production, as you've heard, farmers might face a glut going into the season that we're facing, as we have very limited lines that farmers can put in during this horticultural period of winter winter production. But like Lucy said, it's not the end of the world. You have different lines that you can venture into outside of cabbage production. And if you do decide to go into cabbage production, do consider going into it with batches like Lucy has said, to also avoid having the glut and also having a bad market price going into the space that we're going into now. So that's it for today on Agric Connect. Thank you for joining us on this segment. That was cabbage production with Lucy Rarea. We hope you join us again in the next episode. Thank you for being tuned in today. My name is Annette Mtetwa, your host, and I hope to see you again next time.